Quality heating, quality heating.
St. Vincent de Paul, Milwaukee has expanded into our new 76th and Bradley Road location, where thrifters will find hundreds of bargains on everything, from clothing to furniture, electronics, home goods, and more. Our inventory is always changing, and new deals pop up every day. We're accepting donations too at our convenient drive-through donation area. Help us help others. St. Vincent de Paul at 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee is now open.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Welcome back to Bucks Talk.
(122-109). Fourth straight loss tonight for the Bucks. It is an overall four-game losing streak. It's the first time they've done that since December of 2022, when that was capped with that loss to the Bulls in overtime in Chicago, where, remember, the Bulls erased a 20-point deficit in the last handful of minutes of that game. That was the low point of that season. And the hope is this is the low point of this season, but you are running out of time to start to correct course. And by the way, you got to start to do it against the team that owns the best record in the league, in the Boston Celtics, on Tuesday night. 855-616-1620, the number to join us tonight on Bucks Talk. Head to the phone and check in with our friend Dick in Port Washington. Dick, what do you have on this one?
The only decent thing that happened tonight is that the lead-in music coming back from a commercial was by the Holly. Outside of that, it was a train wreck. I've got to vent a little bit about the negatives, but I'm going to give a positive at the end. I look at the players' eyes, look at the coach's eyes. No one has a clue right now. I don't have a clue. I mean, listen to the post-game radio, listen to the post-game TV. I know it's your job to keep people coming back, but there's nothing positive here. Lillard and Giannis tonight kicked the ball around like they were playing pool. You can't take blame away from those guys. Lillard is not the guy that everyone thought he was when we traded for him. And that happened. The only good thing right now that you can say about getting Lillard here is that Giannis re-ups, and probably re-up for years after this because you can make the most money here. I'm befuddled. I think the best thing that could happen here is that, and I hate to use the word tanking, but I think our best bet would be the 5th or 6th seed. We want to get someone that we can play in the playoffs that hasn't been there, with Lillard stepping up and Giannis coming to his potential, which is tremendous. We all know that. Chris coming back, win the first playoff series, and then I think you can strike lightning in the bottle. I don't know how many people have looked at this as that. I think, I've talked to some other people, I think next year could be our year if Doc's around yet and we have a full year of his coaching. But I still think we can do some damage this year. And Boston, they're not South Carolina women's team. I mean, they've got holes. And I think when you win so much, you don't know how to deal with losing. And I think there's an opening there. But I would not be opposed. Tanking is a horrible word, but I'd gladly take 5th or 6th seed. What do you think?
Well, I I understand where you're coming from on that. I think what makes that difficult, and I don't know if I'd go that far, is we just don't know. Like, you could still get those teams that I think you're referring to, by finishing second or third. There's still so much to be sorted out this final week. You look at those four teams of the Bucks, the Magic, the Knicks, the Cavs. It's 2 games separating them. Even if the Pacers finish the season without a loss, the Pacers are in that conversation. 6, 7, 8, similar story. And the Cavs could slide down to there and potentially be a playing team as well. So I think we got to wait until Friday to have a more firm grasp on, okay, it's likely going to be one of these two teams. But I understand the logic of, if this is how you go into the postseason, this is how you're headed into the postseason, is a matchup with the Miami Heat, who again, I even hesitate to say this, but they are not the Miami Heat of last year. They're a much different team. They have some big pieces that are gone, but it's still the Miami Heat. It's still Eric Spoelstra. It's still Jimmy Butler and what he's done against this team in the postseason. Bam Adebayo, as well, and his ability to, I'm not going to say stop Giannis, but at least be a capable defender on him. So there's certainly a lot of hesitation there. I have a number of hesitation, a lot of it against the possible matchup with the Philadelphia 76ers, with a return to Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, who just scored 50 points tonight, and Nick Nurse. So I get let's hopefully avoid those teams, but I think the big part is this, and Doc Rivers kind of said this before the game tonight too. There is no easy path for any team in the Eastern Conference. Even if you have, I would assume the teams that you're talking about, we should hopefully try to match up with these teams. The Magic, right? The Pacers, potentially. Even the Cavaliers and how they've been playing recently. Even if you got one of those teams, it's going to kick up in the second round, probably in the conference finals as well. The Boston Celtics could get the Miami Heat, or the 76ers as their first-round opponent. So there is no real way to avoid a challenge like this, and the big thing just has to be number one, make sure you're healthy going into the postseason. The Chris Middleton thing, it hurts. But it was more bad luck. And I think when that play happened, we could just see Chris Middleton on the floor. And where the play actually occurred was a little further away from our vantage point. So I didn't actually see it, and neither did Dave. The contact on the play. All you saw was after the whistle had sounded, Chris Middleton was still on the floor. Damian Lillard coming over to check on him, and I think we all immediately feared the worst of what's going on here now. So to see that it was, as much as you don't want to joke about it, that it was only he got hit in the face and likely lost a tooth. You felt relieved there. But that was the other thing that Doc Rivers mentioned is, we have our big together tonight for this game, and we still got to work on that chemistry and figuring things out with that trio. But we need this for a sustained period of time. Because it seems like for the last 2 months, whenever one guy would come back, another one would exit. And unfortunately, you saw that again tonight. So I think the big thing is you can't even worry about who it is you're going to play in the first round of the playoffs, because even if it is a team that we would deem an easy, quote-unquote, opponent, if you're playing like what we've seen during this four-game stretch, you're going to have a challenge with anyone. So get this headed in the right direction, clean up some of those things. Get through this, because I do agree with the other point that you made about essentially facing adversity. And, it's easy to be a front runner and to blow through teams in the regular season. Now, I do think the comparison I'm about to make, I will say this. The Boston Celtics, I do think, are a better team than who I'm about to reference, and how those teams are constructed. The Celtics are a more complete team. They're a more well-rounded team. But you think back to the Bucks' second year under Bud, when at one point they were on pace to win more than 70 games. They were blowing through teams in the regular season. They did not have very many of those clutch situations. They went to Paris, France, and blew out the Charlotte Hornets. I think they were something like 40-6 at the time of that game. And they just never faced any of those bumps in the road until the very, very end, the final week of the season, as the league came to a shutdown because of the pandemic. And once you got back into things in the bubble, it just seemed like it was different for everybody. It seemed like it certainly impacted the Bucks, but they started to see those losses. They weren't the same team. Those 8 games, I think they went 2-6 or 3-5. They had enough of a margin built up. But something just seemed off. The moment they started to see losses and things would pile up, and they did not respond well to that adversity. So I think that is ultimately going to be the biggest question about this Boston Celtics team, given their history as well with this group in some of those big spots. Can you go through it? Can you get through it once you experience that? Maybe they don't. Maybe the Celtics just blow through teams, and they're on another level. And maybe this is a good thing for the Bucks. You know, as we try to search for the silver lining here, it's certainly not ideal. I'm not trying to suggest that. To be playing this way, to lose 4 games in a row when you really had a chance to put your mind at ease with this schedule that they had. You look at those 3 teams leading into this 4th loss tonight. Those are very winnable games. Those are games you should have expected to win. Doc Rivers said as much himself. If you win those games, you know, take 2 losses even off of the Bucks' record right now. If you take 2 of those 3 games, it's a much different story in the East because right there, you're at least 3 games up on the Magic, the Knicks, the Cavs, with 4 games left. Right? It's a very different feeling. Now, all that being said, the Bucks could very well come out on Tuesday. We don't know who's going to be available for the Celtics. I would assume you're going to see most, if not all, of their guys. It's a little early to take your foot off the gas, knowing you're going to have a full week off during the play-in tournament. But the Bucks could come out and play the same way they did against the Celtics the last time Boston was here in Milwaukee. They could do the same thing against the Orlando Magic, right? Is that going to erase these 4 games in the memory of it? No. But these 4 games, to me, it's about consistency. It's about finding that consistency. It's about cleaning up the process. It's about just the aesthetics and looking better going into the postseason. 855-616-1620, the number to join us. Tonight on Bucks Talk, we'll take a look at those other teams, the Magic, the Knicks, the Cavs. What do they have left on their schedule? And also, our friends at PlayoffStatus.com, with this game out of the way, what are the percent chances for all of these teams in the Eastern Conference on where they will finish? We'll update you on that as well after this on Bucks Talk.
You're listening to Bucks Talk.
Each day there's a sliver of time when you can almost breathe freely, and you feel better when you can, but you know that eventually that sliver of time closes, along with your nose. It puts a damper on your day every day. So you pop a pill or you take a spray to try to get that relief back, but it's always short-lived. And all the while in your efforts to give yourself relief, you may be making your nasal breathing problems worse. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and a simple in-office procedure from Advent called balloon sinuplasty could be the fast and convenient answer to your breathing triangle problems. Advent has been a leader in this procedure, which can be hard to find elsewhere. It's simple, there's little to no downtime, and it really can be life-changing.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Did your home suffer damage from a storm or severe weather? Don't stress any longer. Loyal Family Renovations treats all of its customers like they've joined their personal family, and every project as if the work was being done at their own house. Loyal Family Renovations has a leg up on the competition due to the personal relationships they've built with insurance adjusters over the years. Loyal Family is family-owned, and the loyalty belongs to their customers. Contact them today to help make your home remodeling dreams a reality. LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
CertaPro painters know how important your home is to you. I know how good a job they do because CertaPro painters did our house. WTMJ's John Mercure here. It was professional, it was easy, it was quick, and it was efficient. And so affordable. It's CertaPro painters. They get the job done right, even those hard-to-reach places they will knock out of the ballpark. Free estimates, reliable communication, professional painting, all at the right price. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro painters. Choose the team we went with, CertaPro painters.
Since 1955, Geist Garage Doors has been the trusted authority in Wisconsin. Hey, it's Greg Mansick. Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Give my friends at Geist a call. Doors and openers for every budget are available, and they'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. Check out GeistDoors.com or call 262-784-4250. Or do what I did. Check out their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors, openers, and their custom design room. Wherever you are in southeast Wisconsin, don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
The Roundball Repartee returns. This is Bucks Talk.
Losing streak extended to 4 for the Bucks, who fall short tonight to the New York Knicks behind another big game from Jalen Brunson. 43 points to lead all scorers in this one. And again, a 4-game losing streak for the Bucks. They have also lost 4 straight games at home. It's the first time they've had a losing streak that long at home since moving into this building. 855-616-1620 is the number to join us tonight on Bucks Talk. Let's head back to the phone lines and check in with Bob and Manasseh. You're up next.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. Just a couple of things. I think things were starting to go haywire long before the losing streak. Even when you go back, they've had a hard time scoring points for a long time. That offense just doesn't seem to be clicking. And, quite often Doc says puts on himself and the coaches, but I think it's time to start putting on the players a little bit also. They're the ones turning the ball over. What was it, 13 times tonight? Am I correct in that? And then they're the ones not blocking out on rebounds. I mean, they just get out rebounded by sometimes people that are a little bit smaller than Lopez and the Greek. Sometimes they're a pretty easy team to defend. If they're not hitting threes, they've got nothing up the middle besides the Greek. I think sometimes the lack of a lot of good athletes out there. They're all athletes, but sometimes they're not as quick as they were 5 years ago, and a few years ago they've slowed down. Lopez is pretty slow out there defensively. That's for sure. I don't know. Did Lillard have a field goal in the fourth quarter? Help me out on that one. I don't think he did. He seems to disappear at times. I mean, we know we can score. We know we can, perimeter offense, but sometimes the chemistry just seems to be lacking. I remember when they made the trade. I mean, this sounds stupid to bring it up now, but I said way back then, boy, when you start depleting your bench, and boy, good thing you have Bobby Portis off that bench, or there'd be nothing else. And he seems to be the only one that sometimes wants to rebound also. But what are your comments? You're the expert more than I am, but what do you think about some of the things I said about the lack of offense and the lack of rebounding and too many turnovers, blah, 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 Yeah. I don't think you can turn that light switch on this late in the year and correct some of those errors. I hate to say that, but I don't think it can be done no matter who you're playing. I guess I listened to your comments.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Bob. Dame just took three shots in the fourth quarter. Played 8 minutes, but was one of three. Bucks as a team 7 of 20. 35% shooting in the fourth quarter. And Doc Rivers had said, too, at halftime, we were moving the ball. The message to the team was essentially keep doing what we were doing in the first half. They had a tremendous second quarter. Shooting virtually 60%. No real looks at three in that quarter either. It was all ball movement. They were attacking inside ball, where you just kept swinging the ball around, getting into the paint, probing there, creating those opportunities. It was efficient off. It slowed down. It was, as you said, we were kind of stuck in mud. The ball stuck. We weren't moving it quite as much. All those things we pointed out the Bucks were doing to the Knicks. Defense, how structured it was. How they were playing on a string, pretty much. The number of times the Knicks were taking shots very, very late in the shot clock, that flipped in the second half. The Knicks were doing it to the Bucks. And it went from being just rebounding was the one thing that you needed to clean up. And that basically keeping the Knicks within that 11-point margin, what they were doing on the offensive glass. It went from that to you lost just about every single category that there was. The Knicks just looked like a team with more energy tonight. They were getting all the loose balls. And that's what the Knicks do. They are very, very good. They are elite on the offensive glass and defensive glass. They're a good rebounding team. They're a good defensive team because of the personnel and the different schemes that they can play. How they are basically switchable 1 through 4. And they don't foul. That was the other thing. The Bucks were getting to the free throw line so much tonight against a team that just does not foul. You've got to figure out how to fix the offense, how to consistently get what you saw for the first half, but especially that second quarter. You've got to figure out how to get that consistently going into the playoffs. Because when you made that trade, Damian Lillard in, Drew Holiday out. You became an offensive team. You became a team that said the way we're going to win games is we're going to outscore teams. If you don't do that, I think the defense can still be good, right? Better than league average, if you want to call that good. I think that's where your defense can be. It's not going to be elite. Your offense can. And that's how you're going to have to win games. So the point that Bob brought up as well, it's going to be tough to win, and especially in the playoffs. If you're consistently getting a 4 of 11 type of night from Damian Lillard. And that's not even bad, right? It's close to 50% from the field. 1 of 7 on threes, though, that was the tough part. We've seen now for about 2 weeks, the Bucks have gotten a lot of good looks from their best shooters. They just have not dropped. You're going to need Damian Lillard to be an elite scorer for this team to advance in the postseason. Is it troubling? Is it a warning sign to see this in the regular season and inconsistency that we've seen? I'm not going to go that far yet until it becomes a problem in the playoffs, but that's the recipe for the Bucks. They're going to have to beat teams offensively. They're going to have to outscore them. They're going to have to be efficient in the half court. And if Damian Lillard is going 1 of 7 on threes, you can get by with 1 or 2 games of that. Maybe not 2, but you can get by with one game of that in a series. But you need Damian Lillard to be the guy that he's been all throughout his career. We've seen it, right? It's not as though Dame has been bad this season. We've seen that. I just don't think we've seen it as consistently as everybody was hoping. 855-616-1620. The number to join us tonight on Bucks Talk. A few more calls trickling in. We will get to those after this.
The Hardwood Homilies continue after this. This is Bucks Talk.
Here's why you can feel confident in choosing Less's Glass to fabricate and install your new shower door or glass bath enclosure. For over 40 years, we've done thousands of them. And when you want a new and modern aesthetic added to your bathroom, you want a crew with experience behind it. We fabricate new shower doors or bath enclosures to fit any space of your bathroom, all done in-house. And that's great for quality control. It could be a neo-angle shower stall, a corner enclosure, a bypass for your tub or shower, or a heavy 3/8-inch all-glass enclosure. Any idea you have, framed or frameless, we can handle it. And when you work with a family-owned company, the buck stops here, because we're not satisfied until you are. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Tune in on Sundays at 10 a.m. for the AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show. Join AccuNet's Brian and David Wickert for the most up-to-date information on mortgage trends, along with timely news on the real estate market. The housing market is in flux, but the national headlines don't often fit local market conditions. Find out what's really happening on the front lines of real estate and mortgage financing in Wisconsin and make better decisions by tuning in every Sunday at 10 a.m. The AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickert on WTMJ.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend. Tap into Your District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production. Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week, Marcus and his son Chris are joined by Bucks radio voice Dave Kane.
I think that stuff's important for them, but there's also, you can't be speaking over the heads of a big chunk of your audience that maybe doesn't know that stuff.
Find Your District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast. This is Bucks Talk.
122 to 109, the final from Fiserv Forum. Jalen Brunson pours in 43 points, sending the Bucks to their fourth straight defeat. And now it is very, very close in the Eastern Conference standings. How close, you may ask. The Bucks, the Magic, are currently the 3 seed. The Knicks and the Cavaliers, 2 through 5, are separated by just 2 games. In the loss column right now. Indiana Pacers only have 3 games left this season. They are just 3 games back. So let's take a look at the Pacers, those 3 games. In Toronto on Tuesday night against the Raptors. In Cleveland 3 days later on Friday night against the Cavaliers. And then home against the Atlanta Hawks to close out the season 1 week from today. To get out of the 6, Pacers basically have to win out there. And that game against the Cavaliers is especially big. Because right now, the Pacers are just one game back of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavaliers also have 3 games left. They're all at home. Memphis Grizzlies on Wednesday. Indiana Pacers, that huge game on Friday, and then the Charlotte Hornets to close out the season 1 week from today. The New York Knicks have 4 games left. 2 are against the Chicago Bulls. They're in Chicago on Tuesday, in Boston on Thursday, home against the Nets on Friday, and they wrap up the season with the Bulls 1 week from today. And then there's the Orlando Magic, maybe the most intriguing team here. In Houston against the Rockets on Tuesday, it is a Rockets team that was just officially eliminated from the postseason tonight. Then they're here in Milwaukee for night 2 of a back-to-back for both of those teams, the Bucks and the Magic, on Wednesday. Then in Philadelphia against the 76ers on Friday, and they close out the regular season with the Bucks at home on Sunday. It is going to go down to not only the final weekend, it is very likely going to go down to the final day. But what do the numbers say? We'll update you on those odds, the very latest. As of this moment. I will update you on those odds and wrap things up, take a look ahead at the next matchup against the Boston Celtics after this on Bucks Talk.
This is Bucks Talk.
Quality heating.
Heat pumps have been the norm down south, but they're new up here. And I'm a big advocate for them. They're far more efficient than conventional AC systems and serve as a backup to your furnace too. They don't use gas and they're really efficient. And that's why the government basically pays for a big portion of these babies with rebates. So before you install a conventional AC system, ask the man in the red van about an Armstrong air heat pump.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality heating.
Manufacturers can void a warranty if annual maintenance can't be proven. Having a preventive maintenance agreement on your HVAC system keeps your warranty in check, helps avoid nuisance calls and your system failing at inopportune times. You get 15% off parts and labor on repairs, no trip charges, discounted pricing for replacements, and priority service. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. See the man in the red van about a preventive maintenance agreement starting at only $25.50 per month.
Quality heating.
St. Vincent de Paul, Milwaukee has expanded into our new 76th and Bradley Road location, where thrifters will find hundreds of bargains on everything, from clothing to furniture, electronics, home goods, and more. Our inventory is always changing, and new deals pop up every day. We're accepting donations too at our convenient drive-through donation area. Help us help others. St. Vincent de Paul at 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee is now open.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes, allergies, cancer. Nothing will keep the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network from pushing Wisconsin ahead. We're constantly raising the bar for medical excellence and providing more ways to receive it, so you have it for all your health needs, big and small. Let's push ahead, and we'll make life here as great as it can be. Visit Froedtert.com to find out how.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. We agree, right? Potholes stink. Now, recent weather means this could be one of the worst years yet. Johnson & Sons Paving is up to the challenge. This team has over 2 decades experience. When potholes pop up in your asphalt, Johnson & Sons Paving will patch them up or replace the whole parking lot. Take a look at johnsonsonspaving.com. Sign a parking lot paving contract before May 31st, and you might just get me out on the job site working with the crew. Find full contest details at WTMJ.com/contests.
Welcome back to Bucks Talk.
Bucks look to end a 4-game losing streak Tuesday night when they return to the floor. It is at home against the Boston Celtics. Only 4 games remain this season. Home against the Celtics Tuesday. Home against the Orlando Magic, a potentially huge game on Wednesday. On the road in Oklahoma City against the Thunder on Friday. And 1 week from today, the regular season comes to an end in Orlando against the Magic. As of this moment, Bucks have a 40% chance to secure the 2 seed in the East. That is still the best odds of any team out there. But that number was 60%, and I believe that number was even 70% earlier this week. It has been sliced nearly in half. 40% chance for the Bucks. The Orlando Magic have the second best odds at a 26% chance. By the numbers, the Bucks, if not second, projected finish would be fourth. And as you look at some of the tiebreaker scenarios, Bucks hold it against the Knicks. They do not hold it against the Cavs. They do not hold it against the Pacers. Pacers win again, you still hope. That's meaningless. They can get it against the Magic. As for the Magic, hold the tiebreaker against the Knicks, hold the tiebreaker against the Pacers. It's going to come down to a multi-team tiebreaker scenario for the Cavs. So they're in a pretty good spot, and they can get the tiebreaker against the Bucks. You look at the Knicks, they don't hold it against the Bucks. They don't hold it against the Magic. They only have it against the Cavaliers. And the other notable teams here, the Pacers have the tiebreaker against every team around them except the Magic. And on the flip side, the 76ers do not hold the tiebreaker against any team but the Orlando Magic. So all of these reasons are why we say it's not just the final weekend. It is probably going to go down to the final day of the regular season. But one way to avoid that is to just start winning and to get through this and pull yourself out of this losing streak. First crack at doing that is Tuesday night, a big one. And frankly, all 4 of these games to close the regular season are big for the Bucks. Tuesday is the next one, though, as the Celtics come to town. 6:30 tip, 6 o'clock is when our pregame coverage begins. And as always, be sure to stick around after the game for Bucks Talk. We will talk to you then.
The other day, I received a call from a customer who had these beautiful old tables that at one time were covered with glass tops. But one day, a coffee mug dropped,